Good morning. It is Kong Yu with you as always for the first hour of today's Traxx Momentum and bringing you a special feature now. By the way, if you'd like to join us online at our Traxx FM Facebook page, we have just gone live as well as we begin today's extra segment. So join us there if you have a question for our guest today, if you have a hello, any other comment that you'd like to share with us for our special segment today. We'll welcome it in the comment section. Yeah. Speaking of which, the COVID-19 pandemic has been, to say the least, a major headache and has thrown a major spanner into the works of how things normally function. Yeah, including our economy as Malaysia and as a nation, just like nations around the world, and for us as well, one of key tenets of our identity, besides our economy, in the effects of those, is actually in the impact to travel and also tourism, right? So here to tell us more about an exciting upcoming event on how you can actually get into the action of travel. Yes, plan ahead, and also how you can actually get good bargains as always, yeah? This happens with the MATTA Fair that's going online. And first of all, welcoming into the studios of Traxx FM right now, my special guest for this first hour of the show, Muhammad Fadilah, who is the Honorary Treasurer from the Malaysian Association of Tour and Travel Agents, otherwise known as MATTA. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, good to see you today, and thanks for coming into the studios. We appreciate it. And we're talking about MATTA Fair. Now, we all know it as the crazy fair that normally you have to rush to the venue, and then you have to also make sure that you plan properly so that you can actually get the best bargains. It's a well-known national travel fair, but due to whatever that's been happening this year, there's been some changes and updates, right? Okay, so tell us, what are these updates to the MATTA Fair?
So every year we have the MATTA Fair twice a year, both in March and in September. And then, as you know, that because of the whole pandemic, both fair we were not able to actually conduct it. So this year, what we wanted to do is actually to introduce a different or a special MATTA Fair with a strong focus on domestic tourism. And we know, we can see on our Instagram feed, Facebook feed, how people are so crazy to travel. So we wanted to introduce this fair to basically promote domestic tourism. So we have two types of fair.
Okay.
One is a physical fair, which is in November, and the other one is an online fair to basically adapt to the new norm. So we introduced an online fair, which we've never done before, and it would be one of the largest online travel fair.
Okay, so the online fair, as I understand, that goes ahead first, right?
Correct.
What are the dates for that?
So that would be in September, 23rd to the 30th of September. And then we would proceed with a physical fair. That's in 7 and 8 November. And we were very excited because it's a chance for us to actually promote domestic tourism. And for Malaysian, for Malaysian, basically it's a chance for us to actually see our own country.
I like that because normally, it is something that I always talk about already.
Yep.
Prior to 2020, it's like visit Malaysia. I have a checklist of these major destinations I've not yet visit. And in August, I did a bit of a Cuti Malaysia driving tour, right, to 3 different spots. So there's just so many places within Malaysia that's yet to be explored. And I love the fact that now, thanks to you guys, so you're actually collating it together and giving a good, obviously packages and rates like that, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. So I think for a lot of Malaysian, they've always spent a lot of time and money to travel overseas. So this year, I think it's a blessing in disguise as well, because it's a chance for us to actually see our own country, see some of the beautiful places which we've take for granted for. So a lot of the islands which we've never been, a lot of the tourism places, basically. Okay,
so I'm curious about some of these products, but we'll save that to last. Yeah, it's been super challenging these days, and you're still going ahead with the physical fair, right? 7th to 8th of November.
Correct. I think it's a chance for us not only to allow or to promote tourism itself, but it's also a chance to tell to the public that the confidence in tourism itself is increasing. So it's for them to actually see physically that the tourism industry is thriving, specifically domestic tourism.
Now, this is an interesting question. We have a comment here. Jennifer Lau says, "Good morning." Yes, good morning to you. Queenie says, "What can we do in the fair? For example, in Sarawak, still required to be quarantined after our travel from West Malaysia." right? So I think that is a particular requirement for Sarawak. Are you able to address this particular question?
Yeah, so I mean,
Okay.
domestically itself, I think MOTAC, or the Ministry of Tourism, is actually doing a lot of initiative to basically promote tourism. You mentioned Sarawak. I think if
Right.
I'm not mistaken, the SOP is mostly for people coming from overseas. If you're from Malaysia, there is no quarantine requirement to go into Sarawak.
Okay. Right. So this is after our travel from West Malaysia. So it does not apply to Malaysians. But may apply to
so
foreigners.
if you're from Malaysia,
Okay.
let's say if you're from East Malaysia,
Right.
from West Malaysia going to, let's say, to East Malaysia,
Okay.
and you are from Malaysia itself, meaning that you were not from overseas or you were not transiting, the requirement is, if I'm not mistaken, the requirement is not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning as well to Patricia Lim and also Lee Man Hui. If any questions, feel free to type in the comment section. We are also live, not just on air, but also on Facebook at Traxx FM Official. It's interesting as well. MATTA Fair, I was saying in the opening of the segment, we always associate it with, like this big mega events, isn't it? Make sure you go earlier, make sure you go earlier for parking and get the best deals and all that. So this is the first time that the online version will be held. Right? Can you share with us the initiatives in organizing the online version and maybe some of the behind the scenes background information to it?
It's basically so at MATTA we wanted to enable. I mean, as we know that the border is closed, and we wanted to promote a lot more domestic together with Tourism Malaysia, domestic tourism. So we created this online fair. As a start before the physical fair, basically to enable Malaysian, if you can't attend the fair, you can actually go online. So we wanted to create one of the largest travel deal website
Right.
that enable Malaysian to go through, browse some of the amazing places in Malaysia, amazing deals, and grab those opportunities to actually take this time to actually travel.
Right, and I think I'm just thinking ahead as well. I mean, I can only imagine the benefits of actually doing this now. That's from the obvious perspective of, the fact that we have to do what we can do within the restrictions and limitations of staying safe from COVID-19. But at the same time, the movement towards all things online has also, in a way, given you guys the incentive to do this fair online and have that first version of it online. So that then, hopefully it can be retained and it can be even better once everything clears, and then you have that online version going on.
I think it's a blessing in disguise as well. I mean, with MATTA and Tourism Malaysia, we always wanted to do an online fair, but because of the whole COVID, it basically speed up the whole process.
Right.
This year we're having it for the first time
Right.
ever, and I
Right.
think it's really exciting because we have a lot of participating companies as well as hotels, flights, the airlines basically, and a lot of the national tourism organizations. So all of these stakeholders are there. Both on the online as well as the physical fair.
Perfect. Okay, now speaking of which, we're going to find out which merchants are involved and some of the other details. What sort of deals can you expect? So we're just going to take a quick 30 seconds breaker. And when we come back, more with my guest today, Muhammad Fadilah, who is the honorary treasurer of MATTA, right here in the extra segment of Traxx Momentum. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Traxx Momentum's extra interview feature for the first hour of the show. We're talking about the MATTA Fair, which is going to have its inaugural online version coming up towards the end of the month. One full week of it, 23rd to 30th. September 2020, in collaboration with many travel partners to provide a variety of good discounts and packages and all that. Here, telling us about these, and we'll be filling in with more details. Muhammad Fadilah, who's the honorary treasurer of MATTA, joins me in the studios today. And if you've just joined us, you'd like to be online with us, we are at Traxx FM Official as well. Thank you so much for coming in. We do appreciate it. Okay, good morning to you, Boniface, as well. MATTA, I'm in your MATTA Fair online program now. Really? Well, I guess he will be once it goes, on. Once it's live, yeah. You're right. Okay, so we're talking about the interesting offerings. Can you give us a bit of a teaser and maybe some clues in what sort of packages,
The
discounts to
online one,
offer?
okay. The online one, we have about 87 exhibitor confirmed participating, and for the physical fair, we have about 300, which has already confirmed participation. So that includes the state tourism organization, which are also promoting their various states. So it's attraction, hotels, deals at that specific state.
Okay, so it's 87, right?
Online, yes.
Online,
as of
now.
8th of September. Yeah,
Okay,
yesterday.
right. So, and also, I think it's a great way to also check out the attraction state by state.
Correct. I mean, there's a lot of places, even myself, there's a lot of places which I did not even realize in Malaysia itself before this. So this year is a great chance for us to actually take this opportunity to visit places you've never seen before, or those places which could be at your backyard, but you've never ever actually been to. For example, let's say the Kuala Selangor, the mirror thing. You've always seen overseas those beautiful images, but you've never actually taken the chance to actually go to Kuala Selangor. It's just sort of 1 hour ride from KL itself, but a lot of us have never actually seen it.
Yeah, right.
Great chances to do that.
Exactly. You gotta get the timing right for that one, right? To get that mirror effect and all that. But definitely worth a visit. What is your one choice? What is your top choice
to visit?
That's right.
I think that's the mirror would be a great place to see. I've never seen it, and I've seen the pictures, and it's quite amazing actually.
Wow. Okay.
But I mean, a lot of people actually take domestic for granted. A lot of us don't know, like for example, the southernmost point of the Asian continent is actually in Malaysia, in Johor. There's the easternmost point, which is in Sabah, the northern of Sabah. So a lot of these places, which is with Tourism Malaysia and MATTA itself is trying to promote, but we don't even realize the existence of it before. Even myself, I never realized a lot of these places before. So I want to take this year to basically go to a lot of these places. And MATTA Fair is the perfect place to go to get great deals.
Absolutely, as always. Any sort of changes, any information you fill us in as to the physical fair at the moment?
The physical fair, I mean, we're quite excited at the the participating. The number of the participating exhibitor is quite encouraging. So I think it's a great chance for people to actually come and view some of the great deals physically as well. So not just online, but also physically. All
right. Well, we look forward to that as well. Always a good one so far in this year. I guess we'll see when the day comes. So maybe there'll be another feature when it's closer to the date of the physical fair, because I'm pretty sure it will be important to get reminders of SOPs and social distancing measures and all that.
Yep. I think
all the attendees.
A strong focus for us as well to actually at the fair inform the public that tourism itself takes very seriously the SOP imposed by the government and Ministry of Health. And when you travel, there's a certain SOPs which we must adhere to. I mean, at the fair itself, we actually put strong emphasis on that.
Okay, nice. Okay, so we'll come to that when we come to that. But meanwhile, there's the online version that's happening in the last week of September, right? And let's just pick your brain while we still have you in the studios here about the future of our tourism. I mean, there were some news reports and commentary and a collection of the commentary out in one or two major publications today, right? And the country's tourism industry, what do you foresee its future? Will it be able to bounce back? And and all that as one of the, as always, major contributors towards our economy.
Yeah, you're right in that sense. If you look at the stats as of 2018, around 23% of the workforce, the Malaysian workforce, are involved in tourism, both directly as well as indirectly. So it's a huge contributor, not just in terms of the GDP, but also the job creation. If you look at the trend in the past, tourism has always been very resilient. So I'm very confident that once the whole pandemic is over, that we will bounce back. But I would like to take emphasis on, which is correct as well, that the Prime Minister did mention that it will take 4 years for tourism itself to, specifically in Malaysia, to fully recover. So this is, the MATTA Fair itself is basically one of the initiative which MATTA is doing, together with Tourism Malaysia, of course, to basically to encourage and boost confidence to travel domestically as a start. So see our own country. I mean, we all love to travel. We can't just be in our own home, and we want to travel and see stuff. So why not use this time to actually travel domestically. So by doing that, you're actually helping a lot of the SMEs, hotels to basically recover as well.
But do you think that there is a more urgent need to push other measures as well? I mean, the couple of commentaries out in the press today about how, there should be some leeways open for, I don't know how it's going to work.
Green
but
bubble, you mean?
In certain aspects of international travel and maybe certain tourists should be allowed in and all that.
I think Green Bubble is a great initiative. I mean, we've seen the travel between Malaysia and Singapore starting to open up. And other countries, like Singapore, is doing a lot of this green lane or green bubble. Tourism Malaysia and MOTAC is actually putting a strong emphasis on that as well, which they are in the work. So hopefully, I'm hopeful that, let's say by this year or next year, there would be, the SOP or the lane, so-called green lane, open up. Hopefully by this year, actually, so that it would encourage more, not just Malaysian going overseas, but also a lot of overseas tourists coming to Malaysia.
You're right. I mean, there are definitely some follow-through measures that to think about for the interim period.
Correct. If you look at Thailand, just as Thailand itself, they're doing they're opening up the islands for tourists, so you can come in, enjoy the island, and then leave. So so basically, in a way, you're still quarantined on the island, but that's much better than closing tourism fully.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting cue, isn't it? So they're not going to the mainland, not going to the major cities, but just direct to the island destination, of which it could also possibly serve, if necessary, as a quarantine area. Well, perfect. Okay, so all the best in the endeavors, and thank you so much for coming to the show today. Any last messages to our listeners and also viewers today before we let you go?
So I hope that the viewers at home would actually take the opportunity to basically visit our online fair, which is happening on 23rd to the 30th of September, but also the physical fair, which is on the 7th and 8th November 2020, and basically use this chance to grab the deals that you've always wanted to grab, and the chance to basically see what are the offerings, specifically domestic.
Perfect time, perfect opportunity. All you need to do is to surf on over to the do they just search, or how do they get on the online platform when it's live?
So we have a website for that, which will be online on that specific date.
I'm pretty sure it has to be it will only be available live once it goes live from the 23rd. So do a search and you'll be able to hop on there and check out all the mega deals that are being offered. Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
All right, you're welcome. And we've been speaking with our special guest in the first hour of today's Momentum, Muhammad Faiz Fadilah, who is the honorary treasurer from the Malaysian Association of Tour and Travel Agents. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, as well as all the best with the online and also the physical fair when that comes.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to
around.
travel.
Yes, you're right. All right. That's a wrap to our extra interview feature this first hour of the program. I'll be back after the 11 a.m. World News with our regular What Matters feature. So that's coming on in a few moments. The news, that is. Until then, well, take care and a good morning, and stay tuned right here on Traxx Momentum.